Hi everyone, John here. This is a Covid-19 update about Australia's situation. So this is for everyone else overseas that wants to know what's going on as well. Well, there's some good and bad really. I always praise Daniel Andrews with the job he's doing, and I still think that he's doing a great job. And I've always said, when you see Scott Morrison and Daniel Andrews on TV and you can see the expressions on their face, and even more so now, that they're quite stressed. And but I think that they're coping very well. And I think now there's some headhunting going on, and I think there's a class action or something with some big solicitor company or something that wants to take the Spring Street to court, so everyone's looking out for, someone's head. But just wanted to talk about some of the past videos when I was saying that I didn't want any outbreaks to happen anywhere else. Well, they've been happening everywhere, and even on my phone I get like little surveys, which I think a lot of people would get, whether you think Sydney or Queensland should close their borders to their next state. The last one was Queensland, and of course, yeah, I agree that they should close their borders. Now Queenslanders didn't have any cases, and now they're getting cases. And now Sydney is really, really worried because they're getting an average of 20 cases a day, and at least 10 of them are unaccounted for. So they're not linked back to any clusters, so they're community transfer, and the professionals there, they have no idea where they've come from. So I think they're going to have to do exactly what I was saying in my last videos. They're going to have to start testing 10 to 20,000 people a day in certain areas, and see what they come up with. And I hope that they don't come up with what Victoria's come up with, because I don't think anyone wants what Victoria's got. We've still had some silly people doing some silly things, but like Daniel Andrews has been saying, it's not like it was before. He praises the people that are doing really well, and so do I. I think it's great. I think everywhere you go now, when you go down the street, everyone's doing the right thing, wearing masks. There is a couple of people that have travelled, I think one person from Truganina to Box Hill or something, just to visit a friend or something like that, which was a bit silly. They may not have the virus or something, but you might get some other people who you might bump into that have the virus, and then you take that back to where you come from, and then off it goes, it starts transmitting. Also, of course, I have this in my playlist as well with the Covid-19 news and the Australian news, but everyone's probably heard, of course, over New Zealand now, they're going to go into, I think, stage 3, maybe, and they're going to go, I think it's another 11-day shutdown to try and stop that. So that's going to be really difficult. So, but they did very well last time, so I think they'll do very well this time. And of course, overseas in New Zealand, there's a bit of talk which I think is a little bit silly. I think there's an election coming up in New Zealand, and they're talking about whether their Prime Minister has made the right decisions or not, with because there's another outbreak that's happened, so they're judging her. And so now they're saying that the vote might go either way, whether she's voted back in or not again. So, I mean, look, I've said it before, we're all the same. We're all just people, and nobody wants the virus. And I've also said as well, like if you got rid of all the borders in Australia, you would just have Australia. So we're all the same. We're only closing borders to just protect some states that are actually worse off, like Victoria, and I understand that, and I agree with it. So look, I just want everyone out there to stay safe and do the right thing. And I think we've got about another 4.5 weeks to go or something, and hopefully we should be okay, and we might go down to stage 3 with a bit of luck. For anyone that wants to probably travel even at Christmas time, if they've lowered the stages, like down to stage 3 or stage 2, and they have a bubble with some countries, then I think, of course, you can travel, but I still think that they'll probably have a 2-week quarantine where you're going to travel, and a 2-week quarantine when you come back. So I think that's just, it's not really a holiday. So I don't think people I think people are going to be just discouraged. Unless you're going overseas for like 3 months or 4 months or something like that, which most people don't. So I don't think people will be travelling at that time either. And I think for overseas travel, I think Qantas has still got their international flights. They've stopped that until March next year. So there'll be overseas carriers that you could probably fly out on, but still you've got to go and stay in, I think, in expensive hotels for the 2 weeks, hotels that they recommend. So that's a lot of money for people, and then if they come back, they can probably come back to their own home, but that means they'll miss out on another 2 weeks of work, so that's another cost as well. So I don't think people are going to do that. And so anyone that wants to travel out of Australia, or people that want to probably come to Australia, I don't think that's going to happen for quite a while yet. So, but I'll keep you updated anyway. But everyone stay safe, and please subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Stay safe.